Hello everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm here today to talk about the revival of Waterloo Road, BBC hit from the early early to mid 2000s, and it ended about 10 years ago with season 10 in Scotland. We're now back in Greater Manchester with returning characters of Dante, Chloe, and Kim. Subscribe, like, spoilers ahead, and obviously do let me know down below if you've checked out the series so far. Today we'll be covering episode 1. All 7 episodes are live on the BBC iPlayer, but will air weekly from 8 o'clock each Tuesday. And now let's dive into the episode. When you think of the original, you think of just awesome memories of, you know, dodgy kids, weird kids, kids speaking out, and all this stuff that seemed so much better back then. But this episode brought us to the snowflake era, an era that I mean, everything about this episode screamed shite. You had every scene had to include some racial slur, or there was there was sexist comments that didn't need to be brought up, because over tattoos or something. They were vandalizing, there was riots. I think Chloe died in the first episode. She was rushed to hospital after being injured early in the episode. And if she's already been killed off, it's the worst advertising for anything I've ever seen, because you wanted to put Chloe in the pictures so you could get people back to the show. Most of the kid actors are shit. One of them just looks like she's on drugs the entire episode, and she's your typical naughty person. There's the typical bad boy. You've got a homeless guy who is now possibly going to be in a same-sex relationship. You've got one of the teachers in a same-sex relationship with a cop or a police officer. A lot of stuff in this series, and we're trying to normalize certain things, but they ticked every box. You got a girl in a wheelchair who is just one of the cockiest pieces of shit you'll ever meet. You've got so much they just tried to cater towards. It was all the stuff you wanted to get away from is in this show. You've got affairs going on with parents. You've got a miserable teacher who's actually likable, but you still want to hate because of the way he is. He's got a daughter, and then you've got Chloe and Dante, who's got kids who now go to this school who isn't Waterloo Road for 90% of the episode, which they didn't need to do, just for the reason of going, oh, Waterloo Road was on this list of the council. Here is the new school name. It was 58 minutes of throwing all these topics down your throat, developing poor characters. Kim Campbell, she was okay for the most part, but I don't blame her character at all, because she was just dealt a shit hand. Racism, sexism, vandalism, riots, police, you know, just your typical shit. Typical duo of lads laughing in an assembly, cringily. All the girls, oh, we didn't mean to go too far. You did mean to go too far. This episode was the definition of why a show like Waterloo Road does not work in modern day, because you have modernized it. A show like this should return with the principles of not thinking, oh, the pandemic has just happened. This homeless kid has been given special privileges. Kim overlooked Chloe's things, and then she didn't get the job, and now she's dead. Some of the choice of this episode, it's like history. There was one of the teachers who was doing the tattoo class was randomly paint bombing this car, who was one of the teachers who's an OCD freak. You've got a history teacher your wife who's dead. There's just so much to not like about this show. And I'm gonna keep watching it, but I have to talk about I don't know if he is gay. Fucking hell, walking into school, being all bedazzled, and then walking around with his shirt off his shoulder for most of the episode. What? I'm sorry, but like, it's you can't tell me that sort of stuff is needed. I get there's people who dress like that or act like that. But I'm saying like he deserved that paint pellet in the back. Because like, why are you walking in like that, like that? It's just it was a way really weirdly unnecessarily scene. And I'd say I'm saying the same thing with everyone. There was some atrocious acting, there was atrocious interactions, bad dialogue, bad scenes, bad casting, bad characters. I was so excited for Chloe, because Chloe was really enough probably the highlight of that episode. You know, we didn't really get to see much of Dante, and then Chloe was going through everything, and then you know, she died at the end. I think because the synopsis for episode 2 is Walter Road is meted with some bad information. So I'm guessing that's Chloe's death, and I think that's atrocious. You can't advertise a show with the 3 original characters coming back for one to die. It's just not sense worthy. So first episode lacked everything. This show is shambolic, and I think the only thing that will save it, and I think I've spoken to a few people about this. Once Kim leaves, once Dante leaves, this show is dead. It will become Ackley Bridge. This show is virtually your Ackley Bridge. There's no difference. It's a school. There's issues. There's troublemakers. There's riots. There's all your issues of race and all that sort of stuff that will never go away. And BBC are just going to throw these topics down your throat. It is the simple case of you made a 58-minute episode about race for what purpose? It's a show where you want to get away from that sort of stuff. I get it could be included in bits and pieces, but don't make it the full center of the first episode. You could have literally returned to Waterloo Road, been re-established, bought in the same area. They could have used the same area as the idea, you know, because the whole Scotland project didn't work. But no, you just went a completely different way, included so many stupid storylines, and you've what I envisioned of what Waterloo Road was, this was not it. And the Scotland stuff was so much better than what I saw in this one episode. I'm not going to give up on it. 7 episodes. I'm going to be watching Waterloo Road consistently, but expect these to come out weekly. I'm not going to release these daily. We'll see. But of course, you guys let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on season 11, episode 1 of Waterloo Road. Did you think they needed to include all these topics? I thought it was over the top, too in your face, and in my opinion, it just didn't feel like Waterloo Road. It felt like I was being educated for 58 minutes on stuff I already didn't need to know about. And yeah, here's to and I've got to say, if Club ends up being dead in episode 2, I think it'll be one of the biggest mistakes in a TV show I've ever seen. If she died in episode 4 or 5, cool, but not episode 1. You just killed off one of the main reasons I came back to the show. Because as good as Dante is, he won't be able. I'm not going to judge him yet, but I don't. Him and Chloe worked. You saw their interactions in this episode. You saw their interactions with Kim. I just don't know what to think. So, anyway, let me know down below in the comments your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a like and expect the next 6 episodes to come out very soon. Thanks much as always, and goodbye.